YouTube, what's going on? It's Dr. Jones here. I promised you that I would hop on live to talk about semaglutide versus tirzepatide. So, I'm going to start off with a quick question. Y'all let me know, why are you here? Are you here for me to talk about management of weight loss, or are you here for me to talk about the management of diabetes? Let me know in the chat. So for now, as we wait on people to come into the live, one of the things that I'm going to let you know is that I am a board certified family medicine physician. I went to several different schools. I have been studying for years and years and years and years to be able to do what I do. So, as you hop into the chat, just remember that. Now, this isn't going to be my only live. I'm going to continue to ask questions just to really get a feel for what you, my audience, wants. Like, what day of the week are you typically more prone to hop on an Instagram live? Is it more so like a weekend thing for you or a weekday thing for you? And then is it more like a early evening, maybe from like 5 to 7, or like, would you rather come on here maybe like 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time? So I'm on the Eastern time. So y'all just let me know your opinions as we go through the live. I'm going to prompt you, I'm going to ask you different questions as well. And if you have questions, just make sure you put them in the chat. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to be able to get to every single question, but I'm going to try my best to get to your questions. And I see I got a couple of people on our live right now. What's up to y'all? Thank y'all for joining. I really, really appreciate it. Right now, I'm going to be talking about Tirzepatide versus Semaglutide. Okay, it looks like we got 15 people on the live now. Hey. Hi, Maria. How y'all doing? So once again, I'm just going to start off with a quick question for you all. Let me know, why are you here tonight? Are you here to learn about weight loss, diabetes, or both? So y'all let me know in the chat. Put up a W if you're here for weight loss, and then a D if you're here for diabetes management, or a B for both. Just let me know, like, what are y'all looking forward to from this live? Now I'm just going to ask you a quick question. Have you seen your family, your friends, or celebrities talk about semaglutide or tirzepatide? All right. Now, we know that these medications were previously, they kind of started off being used for diabetics, right? And then it was discovered that they're also good for weight loss. So now you see different people in the United States using semaglutide and tirzepatide for weight loss. So y'all just let me know in the comments. Okay, I see someone said you're here for both. Okay, all right. And then another thing, I'm going to talk about the hormones, but specifically, have you heard of GLP-1 before you started to come to my channel? Like, did you even realize that the medications are mimicking any type of hormones whatsoever? Y'all let me know in the comments. I'm going to let everybody else hop in, and then we're going to get started. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty. All right. So I talk about, GLP-1s in my videos. I have a video that's getting a lot of views right now. If you go back through, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But there's a video called Ozempic vagina, which is really like a colloquial term. It's not like an actual diagnosis or anything like that. So that is one of the, thank you for subscribing already. But that's one of the videos I've got that's been one of my highest performing videos. I said, oh, okay. You guys want to hear more about Ozempic. So here we are. Tonight we're talking about two of the most powerful metabolic medications that hi Maria, um, have ever been developed. So we're talking about semaglutide and tirzepatide. All right. Now just know this is not medical advice. I'm just having a dialogue with you. And the biggest thing I want you to remember from this talk, semaglutide only targets one metabolic hormone. Tirzepatide targets two. So it should be easy for you to remember. Now, when I was in medical school, I used to always try to find things to associate just to help me remember. So if there's ever a question or you are trying to remember what each one of these medicines does, just remember that like semaglutide targets a single hormone, and then tirzepatide is going to target two. Did y'all know that, or did y'all already, have you done any research on the GLP-1s at all? These are groundbreaking medications. For decades and decades, people talked about, willpower, calorie restriction, and they even, shamed people. But these drugs, whew, game changer. Game changer. So one of the things that I think is important to note is that obesity equals dysregulation. So it's a dysregulated metabolic state that is not just involving the hormones, it's also the gut, the pancreas, and the brain. So when you look at the medications, semaglutide and tirzepatide are both in a class called incretin-based therapies, but they're not the same thing. A lot of people will use them interchangeably, but they are not the same thing. So when I'm talking about semaglutide, I'm talking about the Ozempic and Wegovy. Those are the brand names for semaglutide, and that is the generic name. So I'm glad that y'all are here. Y'all are learning. Once again, make sure you drop your questions in the comments. I've already told you the number one thing that you should take away from this live, and that's going to be semaglutide is going to act on that single hormone, and then tirzepatide is going to act on two, right? So semaglutide mimics a hormone called GLP-1, and this is something that your gut releases after eating. So just to break it down in plain language, GLP-1 is going to slow your stomach from emptying, and that is going to signal to your brain that you are full, right? So when you hear people talk about the GLP-1s, that is the one thing that you should remember. When we talk about tirzepatide, so just remember tirzepatide 2. So tirzepatide does more than semaglutide, right? So it adds in the GIP. So you got the GLP and the GIP that it acts on, right? So if you think about semaglutide as turning on one dial, you think about tirzepatide as turning on two. So if you want to compare the two, just remember that Tirzepatide is going to be more potent. Now, your healthcare provider is going to help you decide which medication is going to be better for your situation. But if you get a choice and you know that you want to lose a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of time, just remember that Tirzepatide is going to be more potent. So when we talk about Tirzepatide, that is the generic for Zepbound. That is the generic for Mounjaro. So I know I'm spitting out a lot of different names and things like that, but I'm just trying to break it down to a very, very, very simple concept. Y'all let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. Now, eventually I'll get into some of the other weight loss medicines that act on different receptors, but right now I'm just talking about semaglutide and tirzepatide. And both of these are injections that you're going to do once a week. And you're going to usually go with a stepwise dose escalation. Now, the medicines are made to be titrated slowly. Remember that. Remember that, remember that, remember that. So if you find that you are, having to like skip doses, or you don't get your medication in time, where you may have skipped a week or something like that, then it's important to let your providers know, because you may need to adjust your dose. And when you rush that increase in dose, that could be one of the major times when you're having some of the biggest side effects. So just remember that. And when we compare the weight loss in the two, right? So semaglutide gave an average weight loss of about 15% body weight loss. And then Tirzepatide packs a punch. I told y'all already. On average, it helps with about greater than 20% body weight loss at the higher doses. So it's important to remember that a lot of times when you're taking these medicines, you are going to start off at a low level. So if you don't see the results that you want, like in the first 6 to 8 weeks, don't fret. Make sure you have continuous conversation with your prescriber, and just, let them know what you've been doing in terms of your medications, the doses that you've been taking. And then you also should be going up and slowly increasing those doses. One of the things that these medications do is help lower your A1C, when you look at the differences in A1C and the changes and the benefits of semaglutide and tirzepatide, like, it's not huge, right? So both of them are going to work. Both of them are going to help you. But a lot of times, tirzepatide is going to be more expensive than semaglutide. So when it comes to access, more people are going to be able to access semaglutide versus tirzepatide. And companies are working every day to help get people the access, because we know that there's like this huge barrier with the cost of these medications. So eventually I'm going to get into the side effects of the medications. But y'all let me know in the chat, do you have any questions? Are you currently on one of these medications and experiencing some side effects? And I'm going to take a little drink of my water and just go through the chat. I appreciate y'all for hopping on tonight. It's been a long day for me. I am tired. But I wanted to make sure I hopped on and I showed up for y'all. I'm not going to stay on here, for too much longer. But one of the main things I already emphasized is Tirzepatide is going to pack a bigger punch. Now, I'm going to move the conversation along to side effects. Now, some of the most common side effects that people have from both of these medications: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, and then abdominal fullness or abdominal discomfort. And when you talk about these side effects, it's important to understand that not everyone is going to have all these side effects. And when you deal with it, make sure that you let your prescriber know, whoever's prescribing a medication for you, like, hey, I'm feeling a little nauseous, or like I'm actually having some vomiting. And all of these are things that can be mitigated. So whether or not your dose needs to be decreased, or whether or not you actually need to, try something like a medication for nausea, there's something that can be done about it. Now, there are other side effects that people don't discuss. But one, if you look at the different chat rooms and look at social media, and then you start to kind of just talk to people a little more, people that you know are taking the medications, one of the common things that I have also seen is people complain about some hair loss, right? So it's important when you're taking these medications, number one, that you stay hydrated. You always want to have, a water bottle, not necessarily a plastic one like myself, but you want to have a water bottle close by, especially if you're going to be, traveling long distances, if you're going to be, away from the house for a long period of time. You really want to make sure that you stay hydrated. Another thing that I want to emphasize is make sure you have the adequate amount of protein. If you are a super busy person like myself, I'm going to show y'all one of my favorite sources of like just a little protein, something I can have, so I'm not just completely ravished. Show you right here. See what this is? Almonds. Now, I like my almonds with a little bit of seasoning. You have to decide what you like and what you don't like. But for me, this is like a really, really easy way for me to get some of my protein in. Do y'all have a favorite protein source that you like to take with you on the go? If you do, let me know in the comments. Once again, as I get ready to close out this live, I want y'all to remember that semaglutide acts on GLP-1 only. Tirzepatide acts on GIP and GLP-1. Okay? So Tirzepatide acts on 2. Now, just because a medication is stronger doesn't mean that it's the right one for you. So always talk to your provider about your preferences, about any side effects that you're having. If you are constipated, you want to make sure that along with hydration, that you increase your fiber intake slowly. There are different supplements like Senna that you can take, but at the end of the day, just stay aware. Understand what is going on in your body when you start to take any new medication, but especially when you start to take these weight loss injections. Even if you need to keep a diary and let yourself know, well, I'm taking this shot on every Wednesday. Keep a diary if you are having any side effects. You want to be clear when you have your follow-up appointments, maybe when you get your labs retested, about how your body is changing and what you're actually doing to help your body change. Now, you've seen me talk about strength training, you've seen me talk about protein, you've seen me talk about hydration in some of my other videos. But y'all let me know in the comments what else you want to hear about. I'm going to start doing more lives, and all you got to do is let me know what you want to hear about. I'm here for it. If you're curious about something, drop a comment. I'm going to go back and look at the comments on this live even after I get off. So I want to make sure that y'all understand that Semaglutide works on how many receptors? I'm sorry, how many hormones? One. And then Tirzepatide works on how many? Two. All right. This is Dr. Erica R. Jones, MD. Y'all, I am tired. Thank y'all for hopping on my live. And I hope that y'all have an amazing night. I am going to go and relax. Bye. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and let me know what you want me to talk about on my next live. Peace.